Are there things that you would say that have been different in working with an Expedient versus some other service providers that you've engaged with in the past?
I think we've both bidirectionally treated it as a partnership. And I think the other thing that's always struck me about Expedient was no matter what the situation was, it's like, we'll find a way to figure it out. Let's work together. Not like, hey, we got to go back to the contract and revisit because this backup solution isn't working and that's what's stipulated in there, so it's 5 cents more a gig. Like, no, we just like, hey, let's get to a solution, let's figure it out, let's treat each other fairly. The word partnership is probably overused and abused a little bit. One of the things we talked about early on, Brian, were the retention rate of your customers and really just talk to a few of them very early days. And it's proven true kind of over and over again in terms of a true bi-directional partnership.
We definitely appreciate the relationship and just that openness and transparency in the communication that you don't get. And that's the difference of being somebody treating you like a vendor versus treating you like a partner. Being open with what the goals are, what the joint pieces are, it just makes a big difference for having a better overall outcome.
Yeah, it was really interesting. On my team, I rotated the leader that was kind of primarily responsible for hosting and cloud services into a new role and someone into that role. And I think originally he wasn't used to that sort of relationship, right? It's like, oh, I got to go, kind of ramrod the vendor around. Are they telling me the truth? And I was like, Todd, you're going to find that, these guys are open. We have each other's best interests at heart. So you don't need to go in with that kind of posture. And I think he's definitely learned and appreciate that. So even the skeptics, I think, have been won over, which is great.
So when you think about what's next, obviously, getting the transition out of the data center was a giant project, and there's been a lot going on, with the pandemic that you guys had to make adjustments as well. But as we start getting back to doing some of the big project work, what's the next big thing that you're focused on?
For us, it's all about continuing that work of paying down technical debt, continuing to optimize, standing up the Expedient disaster recovery solution. That'll be a big thing for us, and it's a third of the cost of what we used to pay for kind of a traditional big system, and actually a lot faster, so you don't have to do the big weekend cutovers and tests and things. So that's exciting. From our side, it's all about kind of powering the next generation of student digital experiences and focusing on that. I think the less we can focus on the boxes and wires, and the more we get to focus on delivering these game-changing experiences for students. I think if the pandemic did anything for us, it created essentially 3,000 competitors overnight because everybody had to be in the online education space, right? And I think they found out two things in that. One, education online can work, but it's not easy, right? There are ways to deliver a very bad higher ed experience online and digitally. And so what we're focused on is kind of delivering the kind of game-changing experiences that you expect in your normal life through things like, you can hit a button and a car shows up. I just hit a button and my Costco delivery came, in 20 minutes. I didn't have to do anything today. But that's the type of kind of hybrid experience that students are expecting. They're not comparing us to the ASUs or Strayers or whatever of the world. They're comparing us to the best experiences they have in their life. So we're doubling down and focusing on that while continuing to kind of pay down technical debt to fund that, essentially out of optimization and out of that being kind of ruthlessly efficient, which is pretty exciting.